Hi everyone, thank you for coming to the presentation and for your time. I would like to present today the project of reconstruction and sealing of Calamina Road. I put together some desktop investigation. On this road, it's required to reseal it, to reconstruct it and seal it due to the high maintenance cost associated with unsealed surface, as you can see in this photo, and to better accommodate the increasing number of tourists visiting the area. So I'm putting together this proposal and including some desktop investigation related to this project. So let's start. In this presentation, I will cover the following key points. First of all, I will do introduction, talking about the area and the historical background. Then I will talk about the four issues for the projects and how to address those issues. The first one is the water management, and the second one is the material because it's in the remote area, so those two is very important. And the stakeholders engagement as well, the environmental management plan for this project, and the project planning and site management as well for this project. As you can see, the project location is north of Western Australia, and the project comprises of 5.92 km of Calamina Road from Binjima Drive to Calamina Gorge National Park. The park is the traditional home of Binyajima, Karama, and Nuwinga Aboriginal people. The road as well as carries tourist traffic for up to 100 vehicles per day in the tourist season, and due to this number of vehicles, so the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attraction allowed just 6 weeks for the project and shouldn't taken place from May to October, which is the tourist season. The presentation includes the following issues and what's the strategy to address those issues. First of all, the water management, how to manage the water, the floodway design and the scour protection, also some consideration for the floodway design and consideration of camp water, construction water and wastewater. Also, I'm going to cover the materials, pavement gravel suppliers and application of surface miner, also the assessment of material quality, and I'm going to cover the importance of stakeholders and environmental management, address 5 key stakeholders and engagement plan and border environmental management plan. Also, I'm going to cover some scheduling for the pre-construction and construction activity. All that should align with a good site management, including health and safety. So let's start with the water management, management for the area. As you can see in this photo, so this is showing the catchment area. So we have 3 catchment area that going to affect the road during construction and post construction. And this catchment area is going to the catchment 1 is a big catchment area. It's coming from the very high elevation to the low point, and is going to affect the eastern part of the road, most of the 3 catchment area. So therefore it's required to provide a surface water management plan and is typically developed to address potential risks such as flooding, sediment runoff and erosion. The plan may include measures to divert or control surface water flow, manage sediment and ensure the control release of runoff and not affected the road construction project. So now I'm going to talk about the floodway design and scour protection. So the floodway, it's in the area that's highlighted with this arrow. It's around 700 meter, and as you can see in the elevation map, the peak and the peak in the elevation and the low point, the difference between them is not that much, it's minimal, and also because of the area is include a large expanses of low laying land, so it's very large expanses, so that can retain water. Because of this gentle gradient, so the velocity is considered here, it's low. So then when I go back to the main road Western Australia, the specification that's related to floodway design, it's recommended for the low velocity, this figure, which is type 1 floodway figure 5.2. And of course more investigation and more communication need to be done with main road Western Australia waterway sections to confirm that and to design a proper design for the floodway consideration. So the other one, so on current slide, just gathered some information about the floodway design consideration from Main Road Western Australia floodway design specification. So this is something we need to consider, which is the site, including site assessment and also design features and the material that's going to be used for the floodway, and also the floodway signage, which is a very important aspect of the design, the floodway signage, and the construction process starting from excavation and the compaction and the quality control of the material as well. Also the maintenance and the performance of the floodway, as is required, regular inspection is needed because the floodway need to be resilient rather than flood proof, and also the cost benefit analysis that help to determine how much protection is economical, justifiable versus routine maintenance. Also the standard and guideline that we need to follow in this floodway design, including of course Main Road Western Australia, the flood design specification and other guidelines if it's required. The consideration of the water that's going to be used in the construction activity is very important. So we have the bore water, which is located, as you can see in the map, it's around 20 minutes driving from the project location. It's near to gravel pit B. But this water, it's through the test, it's showing that it's muddy and it's not suitable for activity like concrete mixing, but it will be suitable for the other construction activity, for example the road surface preparation, as you can see in the first photo on the right top, and it's also suitable for pavement compaction activity, for dust control, and at least it's required two water truck should be in operation to ensure consistent delivery based on the distance of 20 minutes. Also you need to consider a camp water and supplies and wastewater management. So it's recommended to contact Main Road Western Australia, which is a government agency and it's responsible for the roads in this area, which is Pilbara region. Also it's recommended to use a free surface, which is dig they use before you dig, Australia, which is free, and provide information about underground utilities including sewer lines. for more specific details about the water camping supply and sewer connection and potential disposable sites, it's recommended to contact Shire of Ashburton and the Water Corporate. Water Corporate is government agency as well, and the Shire of Ashburton is the shire of the area that where the project will be. Now we'll move to the next issue of we need to consider for the project is the material. So as you can see here in the map, the project location, and there is pit A and pit B. There is a gravel that we can use it. As you can see in this slide, I did some material quality check using the specification from Main Road Western Australia 501, which is related to the materials for a base course and sub-base. And from this material complies, as you can see, it's recommended to use the gravel from pit A, which has a good quality and a good gradients, to use it for base course layers, and the total gravel quantity that's required for the base course material is 4,144 cubic meter, and use the rest of this material with mixing from pit B. Pit B is not really a good quality for base course. It's okay to use it in sub base, but it's required a bit of mixing and a bit of improvement. So therefore I recommended to mix pit A and pit B to get a good material for sub base, but of course this one it's required test and verification is required to verify that. The things as well that recommended to use it in this project, which is the surface miner, which is really, this is as you can see in the photo, is a heavy construction machine used for cutting, crushing, and it's used to remove hard rock for in situ material, and it's really a good equipment that used because it's to produce well-graded material and maintain consistent layer thickness and surface smoothness. So it's recommended to use this one, especially for this remote area where the project is. A critical part as well in the project is the material quality. So to control the material quality, it's required at least to have those, as you can see, those tests. So first of all, the sieves analysis, you need to do this test for the material and the moisture content as well, and the compaction testing and California bearing ratio, also the plasticity index, and also it's need to perform the visual inspection and surface quality. This is part of the hold points in the contract management. So we need to do visual inspection and surface quality for each layer of the pavement, and then it will be done. And also need to be considered to communicate with Main Road Western Australia and their recommendation for managing the quality for this project. The communication is a key factor for the project successful. So therefore we need to communicate well before start the project, which is in the development stage and in delivery stage as well. So the 5 key stakeholders here, we have the Main Road Western Australia, which is the project owner and responsible for road construction standard, also safety and funding. Also, we need to communicate with the traditional owners of the area because they are custodians of the land, hold cultural knowledge and scared sites. So it's essential to communicate with them. We need also to communicate with the tourist operational which is depend on road access and safety for operational. Also, we need to communicate with the local community, including the nearby town or settlers, councillors as well, because they are affecting by truck movement, noise, dust and road safety risk. The other one we need to communicate is Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions, because they are managing the national park, so therefore we need to ensure compliance with environmental and cultural protection regulations. Here I put together engagement plan for stakeholders as example for Main Road Western Australia. So it's required to include in the engagement plan project overview, the duration, benefits and impact of the project to main roads. Also we need to include the communication objective, what's need to be done, and you need to consider the audience, and you need to consider what risk and how you mitigation what's risk if you didn't engage Main Road Western Australia for this project. So the Fiona assessment indicate that the rare native western people mound mice found only in Pilbara region was separate in the rocky area traversed by this road. So the requirement is to protect the rare fauna is addressed by preparing the environmental management plan. So it should be include the Fiona underpass system, how it will be designed. So also we need to communicate with Main Road Western Australia for the design of the Fiona underpass to protect. This is a very rare Fiona in this area. So here in this slide I show you some pre-construction planning activity that we need to consider for this project. So I just assume the start date it will be 10th of June for this year. This is I put the duration for each activity. For example, the environmental approval, the engagement requirement stakeholders, heritage approval, also material test. As I mentioned, we need some tests for the material for the combination between pit A, pit B. Then it will be the design drawings, which is 100%, and also the wastewater and water supplies, project estimation for the project. So all the duration and approved cultural heritage management plan and approved environmental management plan as well. So the approval for this project is good for 6 weeks just, and it shouldn't be taking place between May and October because of it's the tourist season in this on those months. And also we need to consider not to run the project in the wet season, which is coming from December to March. So therefore it's recommended to start the project, as you can see here, it's mid of March, and finish the construction, deliver the project by the end of April, no more than that time. So still you will have 5 months to settle and perform well before the next wet season begins. This is the advisable, and also the other recommendation or advisable, the contractor should have an experienced resources to deliver the project on time without any time extension, because this is very critical and there is no option for time extension. Here highlighted the site management activity that's required to be considered for this project. So it will be first of all the safety of workers, the road users and the general public as well. Also ensuring a safe work environmental through risk assessment, site induction and safe work method statement, especially for high risk construction work activity. The traffic management planning is key. Also, you need to consider to ensure safe, efficient movement around the site. Also, it's recommended to focus on a pre-opening road safety audit. Now come to the end of my presentation, and what's the issue that been discussed, and what's the strategy that outline the water management strategy and the material and the quality management, and all that need to be in line with Main Road Western Australia guideline. Also, the importance of a stakeholder engagement plan, and also the environmental concern for this area, including heritage sites and the protection of local fauna and vegetation have been addressed through detailed strategy. Also, it's addressed the site planning and the scheduling of the activity, pre-construction and construction activity using a giant chart, and while also adhering all to health and safety regulation. The recommendation is to consider the whole of life cycle for the project to ensure the delivery of a resilient, low maintenance, sealed road, and also recommended to do the asset management plan for maintenance activity for the next 10 years.